Hello, my dears. This is Resilient Lives, attempting to touch base with you, trying to get you to press the pause button so we can spend a moment together. I hope your weekend was just as you planned it to be. It was certainly a full weekend. We had Juneteenth and Father's Day, and it was both full. And we were hoping that you had time to spend flourishing and thriving and doing the things that you enjoyed or had planned to do. We observed protests and just all sorts of activities. It just seemed like everybody was anxious on a beautiful weekend to get out of the house, to get out and just be out in the world. So we're sending you love. We're beaming our care and our thoughts just to send you a little support, because that's what we've been doing. Yes. And it has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. You know, we started on this journey months ago, and we just kind of were instantly put into this quarantine. This pandemic just happened, and our government, our governors immediately placed us on lockdown, and we were frustrated. It just began so quickly, and we were trying to figure out why, but we were scared for our lives, so we had to figure it out. We tried to make sense out of it. Didn't make any sense at all. And so consider that coupled with this racism pandemic, and it has been quite the journey. And now we are getting the release to return to a new norm, to go out into the world, and people are anxious to get out. We saw a lot of different things, people walking the streets, people in groups. The COVID is still active, but there was a sense that maybe it wasn't, because people were no longer looking like they were abiding the guidelines, where before we were all concerned. We didn't want to get it. We didn't want to die. People were dying, and how could we stop this? And so here we are, looking at the effects of this virus. And the question is, after we have been traumatized, is there any good that could come from this? That's the question. We've gone through it. Is there any good that could come from this? Trauma emerging after a crisis. We know that it's going to be a new look on everything. We know that our core beliefs were shaken. The core beliefs was that this disease and pandemic is not something that happens in the United States. It happens in other countries, but not here in the United States. So that's an education all in itself, to know that yes, things can happen in your country, and if protocols and things aren't set up as early, there can be repercussions. But how do we emerge? Did anything good happen? Will we be okay? And we know that and the power of a crisis, we know that crises can turn into opportunity. So we did learn some things. We learned that in order to thrive, that we stay together, we don't go it alone. We learned that we have to think of novel ways, which is why I'm doing this video, to send you a little love, because I can't be there and you can't be here. But this is just to send our support, because we understand that staying together is something that's going to help us to thrive and to flourish, and sending hugs and novel ways of being together, learning to become original. Over the weekend, we did a drive-by for one of our friends' daughter who is graduating high school. And my, I mean, they had you line up a block away at a certain time, and they even had your RSVP, and they were giving gift bags, and it was exciting. So we've learned how to manage these limitations and turn them into opportunities. So as we get ready to emerge, I'm suggesting that we slow down. You know, that was one of the things that people were saying when we were saying, is there anything that we did learn? Is there anything that we wanted to keep? And a lot of people said, well, you know, I like the slower pace. I like not having to rush, and where could you rush to? The world was closed for a little while. But now that the world is opening up, we don't want to forget all of the things that we learned that kept us safe. We want to continue to be with each other. We want to continue to live intentionally. We now know that stuff can happen here in the States. And so the article in the Harvard Business Review is talking about emerging after a trauma, and can you have growth? And we have seen growth within ourselves, so we could have wrote that ourselves. But one thing that we want to note is, as we go out, we want to remember to take our time. It was a thought that Marian Wright Edelman, she wrote a book about for her kids, for our youth, for tips for success, was to go slow and to live intently. And so that's what we want to do. As we emerge, we want to take it slow and remember that we are not alone. There are others just like ourselves caring for us. And so I'm just beaming love and support and reminding you that, yes, we know the power of crises can be turned into opportunities. And yes, there is growth after trauma, and we can thrive and flourish. So be good, take care of yourself, and feel the love we're beaming to you each and every time. Have a good day.